Hello everyone. Since my last video, I've been working on a airship with the Create Aeronautics mod. This is kind of what I have so far, and this is the interior. Um, and so I've been messing around with turrets with the Create Big Cannons mod. So this is kind of the turret room. You have like a camera at the top, and the turret's at the front. It works quite nicely. I have a pretty compact turret over here. Took me a bit to figure this out, but I think I got it working pretty well. So it's just WASD to move around and then just space to shoot. And it's a pretty compact design overall. I need to work on the creative motors and remove them. Eventually, I have to move the power to the top over here, right there, so that I can feed it into the reactor engines eventually. But it's kind of basic, and I was looking for some alternative weapons. So for here, this one is one of the ideas that I had. But this is like a spinner thing. It just kind of spins with magnets. So I've been watching a few of those maglev videos, and then it's like I don't know if you've ever played with those little toys that when you spin with your hands and fling up. Yep. Maybe this could be like a flare, or if you're a fast-moving vehicle, you could launch it and then leave the area as it drops back down. But I don't know. It's quite interesting. I don't really have a use for it right now, but it does look nice, and I like the way it glides. I wish it kept spinning, but that's not possible because if I put a gyroscopic bearing on it or a propeller bearing, it will stop acting like sails, so it will not um, affect lift unless it's spinning, which would like just turn into a vehicle instead of a glider. So that's why it's just gonna be static, but it does look nice as it glides, and so it got me curious about dropping explosives that glide. Uh, so give me a second, I'm gonna go try to make that happen now. Alright, I think I understand what I'm doing. If I just put some symmetrical sails on this, it should, in theory, always face downwards. Um, Gotta make it look nice. It shouldn't always look downwards, but let's see. Ah, look at that, yeah. It does point downwards. It's always gonna point downwards. Nice. Alright, I gotta make some more of those though. I have to try with the windmill sails instead. It's a fairly simple design. I wish there was a way to make the physics assembler automatic. Um, if I could do that, that would probably make this a actually usable method. Because right now I have to manually assemble each explosive, and that's no good. There, the neat thing about this mod, however, is that TNT will explode on impact. Um, I don't know exactly how strong the impact needs to be, because as you saw, it doesn't always explode if the impact is gentle, but there's some setting for that. Oh, nice. So that's with the windmill sails. That looks nice. It doesn't point downwards as you want, but it does spin, which is nice. I don't know which one I prefer. This one has its own charm to it because it always points down. It's more like a parachute, uh, versus something that's just spinning. But now I have to try making it bigger. I mean, give me a second. I think I have a couple ideas. Okay, I think we're ready for the first test. What a nice house this is. Is this yours? Yeah? Oh, you got a nice pond and everything. Look at that. You know, it would suck if someone was to, I don't know, press this button. That was smaller than I thought it would be. I mean, the front yard is gone, and there's no second floor, but the house seems okay. We have to go way bigger. I think this is our first usable weapon that I think we could put on the aircraft carrier. I would need some way to replace it or reload it. Currently, it's too manual, but a setup like this could maybe work on the carrier. I also think the size is good. When the TNT is attached to the sticker, it will never. It seems to be very sturdy, so it doesn't really fall apart. It's also really satisfying. Careful not to drop the TNT before opening the hatch. Next, I want to try a more precise weapon, maybe a ICBM. Okay, this is ICBM V1. Uh, I have a bunch of thrusters at the bottom. Right now they're using creative, but they can easily be swapped out. Uh, the setup is the same. And then I have a bunch of fans at the top to stabilize it so it never flips over. If you tilt it too far, it will flip over. I believe the max you can go is 45 before the fans turn off. Uh, but it seems to be relatively stable. Next is the navigation. Okay, this is V2 with a nav table and a toggle system between gimbal and nav, so you can make it go up first and then switch to the navigation table to go in the direction you want it to. I don't know why it keeps coming back down. That is a strange issue. It's not the thrusters not having enough thrust. but that's the that's the gimbal, switching back and forth between the two. It works kind of, but it's clearly not like a missile, it's more like a hot air balloon right now. I don't know why the thrusters keep turning off. Okay, fix the thruster issue. It had to do with the receiver range, but this is V3. You have upgraded from the propellers to thrusters on the top. The gimbal is constant now, with the navigation table being a toggle. It looks really cool with the gimbal and navigation table fighting each other. I've basically enabled both at the same time to see if that helps. It does make it more stable in the air, but the problem that I'm running into is distance. I need some way to get the distance from the location. The navigation table gives you direction but not distance, so I'm kind of manually having to control that right now, which isn't a great solution, but as you can see, if I figure out the distance issue, this would work really well. It tends to be accurate, but you need line of sight, so it's not a great system. I don't really know if there's a way to get distance. So I've been messing with magnets after watching all those MagLab videos with the bullet trains and stuff, and I think I can make a railgun now. So I have a magnetic bullet right there. Um, it's just using two swivel bearings for aiming right now, but yeah, they're not great. They're more like a suggestion. You can't really get an accurate aim with them. They're not as precise as a mechanical bearing, but mechanical bearings disable magnets. Since they're not compatible with Creed Aeronautics, you have to use the swivel bearing, which isn't great, but it'll do for now. And then you can attach anything you want to the front of this. So I guess you can put a sticker here. Let me give it a target actually. Okay, that should work. Attempt one. Let's see. Oh, I guess it doesn't work every time. Alright, second try. Oh, there we go. Okay. I don't know what that stuck to, but it works. And you can have something like a lodestone in the back um, with a compass. And then you can track that with the navigation table. I haven't actually tried this, but it should work. Oh, wait, hold on, that's the wrong compass. Okay, try it too. There we go. Yeah. And of course you can have a more direct weapon as well with TNT. Let's see if it would work. I am worried with the magnets. It might just, because the TNT blows up on impact. I don't know if it'll work. Alright, let's see. Hey, that worked pretty well. Look at that. It's not a terrible solution. Oh, it hurt my rocket though. It wasn't a great rocket anyways. Oh, also, I tried to make a catapult. Did not work very well. It's not exactly the most precise thing. You can fling yourself with it, which is great, but I also found out that at high sharp angles you can kind of slide on it, which is interesting because You can't really do that in Minecraft on like a diagonal. So I guess now you can make slides like this. I have to use fans to push you on like curves. Otherwise, you just get stuck in them. Uh, with ice, I think there's a lot of potential with this. You could make some interesting rides. So I came across a video on YouTube while editing this video, and they had a really interesting system. I will link the video in the description. I don't remember the channel's name. I'll put it on the screen now. But what they have here is like a ballista. But what's very interesting is they have deployers with pistons above them, and when the deployers place blocks, the pistons push the blocks up. Um, and as the pistons push the block up, those blocks turn into their own physics entity because they're not connected to any nearby blocks. Which means that you can technically make physics entities without manual input. That is really, really useful. I couldn't really get the ballista to work, so check their video out to see how it actually works. It's a really cool design with ropes and springs, which people haven't been using much, but has a lot of potential. So I followed their steps to make the maglev bullets, uh, the railgun bullets actually, not a maglev. But it's the same system with deployers and pistons. Oh, yeah, the first time it doesn't fire. It's kind of odd. The timing isn't great, but check that out. Yeah, that's also another issue. The alignment is not great. I'm sure there's a better way to do it. I tried using magnets to align the bullet. Um, did not work very well. Let's see if it works this time. There we go. And then I just have a modular link on it, but you can also put a lever and then have a deployer just turn the lever on. That also works. Um, I find that if the magnets are off, you're more likely to align them better in this arrangement. So that's why I'm not using a lever. But as a concept, this works, which is crazy because that does mean that you can make physics objects without manual input, uh, which opens up the room for a lot of cool stuff uh, that I do want to explore next. But for now, let me try putting some TNT on this, see how that works. I haven't actually tried that. Please don't blow up. Okay, so far so good. Hey, it worked. Yeah, it's a very simple system with just a little sequence at the bottom to get the deployers to place first, then the pistons push, and the deployer at the top then uh, turns the magnets on. One of the important things is that it cannot be connected to another physics object, so even if it's a diagonal like that, it won't work. I think the timing could also be improved. That'll help with the alignment, maybe. Uh-oh. Did not mean to do that. Oh. Whoa, that's new. I'm keeping that. That's funny. Alright. Next time, I want to try a lot of different things with the TNT droppers. I think there's a lot of potential with the new piston deployer setup. We can do a lot with it. I was getting tired of editing, so I made a quick auto dropper on this little airship. It's the same setup, just horizontal. And over here I have the sequence for the dropper. It's kind of bulky. I'm sure you can shrink it into a smaller space. This is just the first draft of it. But as you can see, it already works. I don't know, that's really satisfying. That's really satisfying. That's the auto drop toggle. So the ship is actually quite hard to control. They updated create propulsion, which is what I'm using, and the thrusters are way stronger now, so I get way too much power out of this. But I think we're in range almost. A little bit to the right. That looks good. Test drop. Just missed it. The great thing about an auto bomber is you can just leave it on. It's supposed to be dyeing the sails gray. I don't know why it's not doing that right now. Must have messed up the timing again. It's not too destructive, but it is satisfying. We'll give it that. I think they shrink this sequence into a single block with tiny redstone. Create Aeronautics has to be the greatest mod in Minecraft recent history. There's so much that I can think of doing next. Like I want to try making mechs. I want to go back and try the ICBM again. I think I can do a bit triangulation. If anyone has any good ideas for interesting weapons, put them in the comments.